This show was fucking awesome, dude. I love Stranger Things so much since season one. I felt like season two and three kind of, was lacking the charm of the first one. Maybe just because it was, a new thing back then, and everyone were, kids, and the music and all that kind of felt more nostalgic. Maybe that's because I liked the season one the most. But right now, dude, I feel like this season is already past season one. I feel like this is even just this is just half a season. So even just half a season is so good. It's look, they are obviously showing us that this show is um way more costly than before, and they have spent like $30 million on per episode, right? Was it 30 or 40?
30,
I
yeah.
thought it was 30.
Yeah, so $30 million per episode, and it shows. The actors are obviously also have grown and they're popular now, and you have this this sci-fi show that has to have these kind of scenes in it, right? So you obviously need that budget. And Stranger Things, luckily, is Netflix's biggest thing, so they won't be shy of spending it. So yeah, I literally have zero complaints from the show, because they did everything so well. There's multiple storylines going on with the kids. Even the kids are like divided into two groups, and they both have different storylines going on. The adults have different storyline going on, and that is pretty interesting as well. And there was kind of a payoff in episode 7. um I was wondering if this show actually started out with having these two different parts, because episode 7 actually felt like a finale to a show, right? And there were so many resolutions in that episode, and so many reveals that act like a cliffhanger to the next season. It was kind of like that. So I really liked how the structure of the show is now. I feel like episode 7 is my favorite. I know everyone's favorite is Dear Billy, episode 4. I love that episode. I really do. And I feel like that is one of the top episodes in, all of Stranger Things. Yes. But just because of the Vecna storyline and the reveals there, and how that was shot, how that was, so mysterious, and the red herrings, throughout the show, and that scene finally revealed, that just made the entire thing for me. And I just loved the episode 7 so much. There was also Hopper meeting, her in, for after a long time of them basically apart. So that was also really well done. But yeah, dude, like episode 7 was so fucking great. Like the ending scene with Vecna and number one, that was so amazing. I liked Jamie Campbell Bower, and I liked him from Mortal Instruments. Yes, I saw that movie. Uh, I liked him in that, and then he was obviously in Harry Potter, Twilight, and all that. But I've always liked him, and I wondered why he was not a bigger star than he was. But now he got his shining moment. He played it fantastically, and his performance was amazing, both as number one, and as well, evil number one before turning into Vecna. But yes,
Well, dude, like Netflix should invest in this guy. They should make a movie series just for
yep,
this guy to keep him. This guy is a talent. I don't think I've ever
yep,
Mhm.
noticed this guy before. He is his screen presence, his line delivery.
yeah.
I was in awe
Yeah.
of this actor.
Yeah, he's amazing. And from the kids, I would say that Sadie Sink is the one that's the most talented and the best actress. Yes, 11 Millie Bobby Brown is pretty good, yes, but I feel like Sadie Sink is more. She brings more maturity to her acting. She plays it like any other actress would play. Not as a kid. So I like her in that. I watched, obviously, we all watched her in Fear Street as well. So she basically carried one of the movies there, and she's awesome. And yes, she is one of the one of the fan favorites in the show, and Dear Billy obviously revolves around her. That scene was amazing, dude. The Into the Speed Force, the kind of scene that she had with Vecna, that was amazing. I loved that scene.
I think that scene's a masterpiece for me.
Yeah, it's really well
I've
done.
Yeah.
I've rewatched that scene and those two scenes after that I watched the season, and they're just different scenes. And yeah, she's a
Absolutely.
fantastic actress.
Absolutely. The way that scene kind of, plays on everything, your emotions, your, the suspense and the thrilling aspect of it, the way they showed their, her life flash before our eyes thing, the the way it was doing it, I thought she was gone. Obviously probably everyone did, but I really actually thought that they were gonna kill her.
Yeah.
But they did that pretty well, so I would definitely appreciate their filmmaking in this. And they got me twice in that scene as well as the final scene. I didn't know that he was also, Victor Creel's son. So they got me twice there, and it was pretty good, man. Like that scene, I would say it starts with her letter, right, to Billy. That whole letter scene was also pretty good, and then that whole Vecna scene happens. So all of that was pretty good. I loved it. And yeah, my favorite character still in this show is Robin. I think that Maya Hawke just brings such a fantastic element to the show. Her and Steve Harrington both together are like, comedic timing is great. Their chemistry is amazing. The way they banter with each other, that's also pretty good. So yeah, she's my favorite character. I thought she was she was good last season as well, but this season she feels like she knows what her character is perfectly, and she's playing to that. So yes, I'm loving her this season. Everyone else is pretty good as well. The new characters introduced are pretty good. I felt like Eddie was also pretty good. And that Argyle guy, that dude is just crazy. Yeah, yeah. Overall, I really enjoyed it. I love this show still, and I really actually felt after last season that how can they even top the first three seasons, right? And they were like, challenge accepted, and they did it. So the only bad thing about this show right now is they have to keep the finale and the second parts consistent, because that is a huge task after this first part. So yeah, I hope they do it. I have complete faith in them. They know their writing, they know the show, they know their audience, except for their own character's birthday apparently. but, but yes, I trust them. Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, it's we have 2 episodes left only in a month, July, when the next 2 episodes come, and they're like nearly 2 hours long, or one of them is 2 hours. Like, these are movie runtimes we're getting for episodes, which is crazy.
Yeah, one is an hour and a half, and the other is literally 2.5 hours long.
That's crazy. That's awesome. Like so I never watched Stranger Things until Monday. Never watched the series, so I binged watched all 4 seasons.
Oh wow!
Monday. And I, because I heard people talking about Stranger, you have to watch Stranger Things. It seemed like the paperboy for Netflix was Stranger Things. I
feel like Stranger Things has to be on everyone's must-watch list, like just like Game of Thrones is. And you still haven't watched Game of Thrones either.
Well, I just don't. Yeah. But no, I'll tell you why. That's probably the case, because I watched the Monday, watching the first season, watched the second season, third season, obviously, and then the new season. The show, I'm in this show because these characters are a lot of fun. The chemistry between the young cast is brilliant. You got David Harbour, you got Winona Ryder, all fantastic at what they do. But the chemistry between the cast is just ultimately flawless. Really, it's just beats. It's like like watching a live concert. It just flows just so well. You're really engaged with it, and you just can't wait to see what next song is going to come up. So like with these kids are all talented. It feels like kind of like what Ghostbusters should have been. Passing the torch years ago. They finally did it with Afterlife, but now it feels like this is like a Ghostbusters type show. And it takes inspiration from all those types of movies and shows as well with monsters. And this season is very much Nightmare on Elm Street. And Robert Englund makes a cameo appearance, which I thought was just really, really well done. He played Freddy Krueger, of course, and that was really, really cool. And each season it's got more of a horror vibe to it. It's got more gruesome. This season for me, though, season 4, I think is my favorite of all the seasons. I think the way it's been presented, and like Disney Plus series, it's cool to see Mandalorian, Loki, Falcon the Winter Soldier, but the episodes are like 40 minutes, 45 minutes long, and sometimes story arcs are rushed. Sometimes it doesn't flesh out characters or stories as much as it should. Here we're getting 1 hour episodes, 1 hour episodes. We'll soon get a 2 hour finale. It feels like every single stone is turned to show you what's underneath it, and every single thing is explained. Now, I've watched amazing shows in the past where mysteries have never been explained to us as audiences. There's been plot holes. Here in Stranger Things, it feels like everything is explained. Everything has a reason to it, and everything, if it's not being told now, it will eventually come back by the end of the season. And I've enjoyed the music. I've enjoyed the horror to it. I've enjoyed all the characters. The directing is fantastic. And this is why I'm a big fan of location. Of course, there is VFX, there's green screens and stuff like that. But there's a lot of location shooting on Stranger Things. There's a lot of cool camera work where the kids are on the bike and the sequences.
That shot.
It was so cool. Where
Yep.
transition from the upside down into the real world.
That was
on the
amazing.
bikes, that one. That was
it was cool.
And that's what I'm talking about. The directors all have a personality. Sean
Yes.
Levi is Sean
Episode
Levi
4 was done by him.
He comes in.
Yeah, he's produced. He's been a
Yeah.
producer of the entire series. Like he's helped.
And he's
everybody.
basically like, he knows how to work
Yeah,
with
so
kids
he-
and the
he-
chemistry. He's really good at that. He did Free Guy. Recently he did Adam Project, and even in that, the kid and Ryan Reynolds had really great chemistry.
Yeah, and he comes in, and different directors come in, and they have a personality. And the Duffer Brothers, Netflix should be tying them down for their life. as well.
I feel like they'll get scooped up by Marvel for X-Men or something.
Yeah. Oh, that would be cool. That would be really cool. I'm a big fan of these guys now after watching this. And the scene where Max and Vecna, is it Vecna to the character?
Vecna, yeah.
Monster. That scene, masterpiece. Love that scene. Very emotional. Where they do a flashback of all the kind of light moments she's had with her friends since she came to the town. Brilliant. And then the Watchmen score scene in 11 and Vecna was really well done as well. And I've really enjoyed my last week. I've binge watched Stranger Things for the last week, and I've actually really, really enjoyed it. Now I don't know what to do with myself. But yeah, I was spoilers, but I saw like hints. I thought Max was going to die because everyone was talking about the running up that hill, running up that mountain scene,
Yep.
and that the song. And I came across that song in a WWE promo years ago for doing like a promo, and that song was playing over one of the big matches. I was like, I discovered this song years ago, and it's like, but this, I thought people were overhyping the scene, but they weren't. It was done beautifully. So I'm looking forward to July 1st to see how it all ends, and I hope this series continues. The budget, you can see that they're using the best cameras, the best everything, and it pays off. And this long form storytelling more as well, because you have the Disney Plus shows, and they just seem like flashes. It just seem like, oh, that's that story done. Next one. Here, everything's just fleshed out, and I love the long-form storytelling.
Yeah, one thing I forgot to mention is the 11 transition scenes from young 11 to her. I felt like that was really well done, and the hard task to do here was going back to that whole thing, right? To the whole institute before 11, so because that story was done in the first 3 seasons, but they had to create this entire prequel thing to add Vecna to it, right? Because he's basically number 1. So you had to have the problem arises that you had to have a even younger 11, even younger Millie Bobby Brown. So how do you do that? So basically they created a memory type thing, like Days of Future Past or something like that. You basically go into your younger self's memory, but they didn't have to keep it that way the entire time, so they basically made her be present in those memory scenes. So I thought that was brilliant. It's just amazing what you can do with, what you can do in film, and to do it effectively. I feel like it's a great achievement. So it's just a simple thing, she's there so she doesn't have to be young 11 all the time. So that was very well done, I feel. Even the young 11, CGI and the actor, whatever they did there, I felt was pretty good. It didn't take me out. It wasn't like a floating head thing. It was actually pretty well done. So I feel like, although number one is kind of weird for going after a young child that way, why is he battling this young child? But still, it was really awesome to see that that's how he was thrown into the upside down and his origins. It was kind of like Anakin Skywalker, getting burned, his whole body burned and stuff like that. And also Dr. Manhattan, Manhattan. So yeah, I really liked it all till the end. The Victor Creel flashbacks were also pretty good. There was really good surprise there as well. That definitely got me. Like, I doubted that this number one guy could possibly be Vecna. Somehow I didn't connect the dots, but I was kind of figuring that out. But I did not think that it would be that kid. Although they did have one scene where that kid was mentioned, shown, but I didn't suspect at all. It was so well done.
Yeah, I thought we got later on in the episode. I thought, oh, he's probably number one. But I didn't expect him to be Vecna. I didn't expect that twist. That was cool. And I'm wondering if he is the big bad at the Upside Down, or is there somebody else looming for season 5 and season 6? Because it's going to be very hard to find a better villain than Vecna, because he's terrifying. And the kills this season, where he just floats them into the air and just completely just dismantles their skeleton, it was very, very scary. And even the scenes with Hopper trying to take the metal chain off his ankles.
Oh, dude.
I didn't look at some of those scenes, right?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
That was like, usually they cut away from that stuff, right? But here they basically they kept the camera on it, like, you have to watch this. But yeah, it was very well done. And that whole scene with the Demigorgon and stuff like that also was pretty well done. I loved that guy, dude. The other guy from Game of Thrones, a man with no face. He was so good.
Enzo, yeah.
So yeah, Burkon, what do you think of the show?
I fucking love it, man. For me, this is gonna be a weird thing to say, but I've always looked at Stranger Things as a type of show that I would make. You know what I mean? Like, for me, it's like, it's got things I do like, and it's got horror, it's got 80s music, it's got comedy, it's got superpowers, it's got kind of like what I think is the perfect hodgepodge of how to do proper kind of storytelling. You know what I mean? And the fact that the Duffers have been able to pull that off with each season and somehow get better as each season goes by, it always just blows me away. Because I know season 3, a lot of people consider season 3 kind of like the weakest season. I actually think it was my favorite season up until this point, just because I just liked that the story of season 3 was about them embracing the fact that the kids are growing up, they are getting older, and you see that develop furthermore into the season right here, which I absolutely like. And so, like, yeah, I could not be more happier with the way the season has gone down so far. I do agree. I think Sadie Sink is Max. She's the standout to the point that I would say that this was a Max focus type of season. Yeah, you know what I mean. And I think that girl is a future star. I really do. I haven't seen Fear Street yet. I want to, but I think there are big things planned for her as much as there are big things that are in store for Millie Bobby Brown and Finn Wolfhard. So yeah, like I said, they're so good. And I also really liked Harbor as Hopper this time around, because I think in season 3, I kind of felt in season 3 they had dumbed down Hopper a bit. They kind of made him kind of an idiot in season 3, and I think in season 4 they brought back to like what I've always
He's a
identified
badass.
Hopper as.
Yeah.
A badass, but also he's like a broken kind of wreck of a man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he always tries to be a badass, but he's just such a damaged guy. And I like that right here. They went kind of like back to that. Like there's that great speech he makes about where he talks about his time at Vietnam and how it affected his family and stuff like that. Like that hits you, man. And so
that
so good.
All that was when he was saying all that, I was kind of like, okay, why are you saying all this right now? And then at the end he says that maybe Hawkins doesn't have a curse, maybe I am the curse. And that was just like, oh shit, dude. Like this was his lowest point and he almost gave up. And then obviously the Enzo dude, I think his name is Dimitri actually. Dimitri was pretty good. He basically turned around and even he got fucked. So yeah, obviously he's gonna help Hopper now and have to get out. So yeah, I loved their dynamic as well. And obviously Winona Riders and the Murray guy.
Murray, yeah,
dude, they were so good.
I've always seen that dude as the guy from the other guys. Like, have you seen that? Have you guys seen the other guys?
No.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a part where Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg, they go into Will Ferrell's ex-girlfriend's house to find out info about this flash drive, and the dude who plays Murray is married to his ex-wife, and he says to Will Ferrell at the end, he screams at him, "You get back in this house and make love to my wife."
Yeah, it's hilarious. So great.
But
I love that dude so much. So it's cool to see him get a bigger role this time around.
yeah, he was really funny. And look, usually when these shows do these side storylines in the background, I tend to not pay attention and forget it. But this was actually pretty compelling. Like they both went on a road trip, and basically they had to get Hopper. Even Hopper just being stuck in that prison didn't feel like that was an uninteresting thing, but even that was pretty good. So I liked how everything was going pretty well. The only character they focused less on, and I kind of feel bad for him, was Jonathan. I feel like
I would say Jonathan, Mike, and Will. Like they kind of put them as like bench warmers of this season.
I mean,
Will has been like a wasted character since season 1.
I think Will's big moment is coming though. Like they are kind of setting him up for that because he had a lot of scenes with Mike, and they had a fight and stuff, and then they got back. So I feel like he has a big moment by the end.
Do you know what was a really cool scene, really well shot, and it kind of reminded me of True Detective season 1 scene when Matthew McConaughey goes through he goes undercover and there's a big show that happens in this estate where all these houses, and the camera is all one shot. The camera follows him running through the houses, away from the cops and away from like the big gang shootout. When the government come into the house, when the pizza's supposed to come. That scene was not expected whatsoever. Really well directed.
It was awesome.
And one shot.
It was fucking good. Cool. Like even those people were not expecting it, right? So it felt like that. Like it came out of nowhere. The tone of that episode completely changed into this action scene type of thing. And yes, it was one of the highlights of the show. Definitely. And how good was that guy with the gun, dude? Like he was giving headshots left and right to everyone. Damn, he was good.
That dude tapped into his inner John Wick, man. Just headshot after headshot.
Yeah, he kind of looked like Jim Gordon. So
kind of did
from Gotham.
Actually.
Yeah.
Oh, think about it. Yeah.
But look, I love this show. This is like to the point. I've now had so much faith in them right now that like they could not have topped the first 3 seasons, but they still did. So now I have complete faith in them. I hope they have a really good future ahead, because I would love to keep seeing what they make. Movies or whatever they want, more seasons. I'm definitely down for more seasons. At this point, I would have said that, oh, how can you top season 4? But I've learned not to make that mistake again. So, bring on season 5 or whatever you want to do. I'm all for it.
Yeah, that is the big question going forward. Is that 5 is the final season, but it's kind of the question of like, how are you going to conclude this? Now,
Yeah.
I remember ACS. Hi ACS, if you're watching. He had tweeted out around the weekend of Stranger Things that he thinks that because of how much longer the episodes have been, how great the effects are. Like, I mean, you see that all the money they spent is on screen. Like, all the effects look
Yeah.
movie quality. I wish She-Hulk would learn from that, but but it's true. Like, it's true. The quality of it is so movie-like. And he brought up the theory that maybe season 5 isn't a season of TV, that it is a full movie to close out the series.
I mean, they can only go bigger than a 2 hour plus finale. So yeah, I hope it's a movie. I hope it gets
And make a
released.
trilogy of movies.
Trilogy. Oh, dude, I would be down for that.
I release one in January, one in the summer, and then one in Christmas.
That would be cool. That would be.
You know what?
Great.
That's what I do.
Maybe in 10 years they can do a movie, because the kids will be grown up. It's like It Chapter 2, but first.
Oh, this is an
Yeah.
ending. Like, Ozark and Stranger Things are big viewership, and Netflix is losing subs as well. Stranger Things will return, and it will have Stranger Things : something that I don't see this ending anytime soon
Yeah.
at all.
I could say it just turns to kind of like the CSI franchise, where it's like Stranger Things : Miami, or Stranger Things : London.
Let's hope the quality doesn't go down.
Yeah, I hope so. That would be the big thing. But yeah, I'm excited for season 2. I mean, this part 2 of this season. And I cannot wait. We are just, I think, 25 days away, right?
25, yeah, right at the beginning, right on July 1st. Yep.
All right, cannot wait.